Down in Somerset County, Maryland, most students share a similar schooling experience. However, a handful have to travel, well, let's just say a different way than most.
Now, the students of Smith Island have an undoubtedly different day-to-day life because there's no high school on the island itself. And now 47 ABC's Julian Sadur shed some light on that unique experience.
For most kids, going to school involves catching the bus in the morning or walking. But what happens when you have roughly 10 miles of water separating you from the school? Well, you boat, a reality that the students of Smith Island, Maryland face every day from the time they enter 8th grade to the time they graduate high school. While most are sleeping, these students are already on their way to the school boat, the Chelsea Lane Tyler.
It completely blew my mind. It still does. Every time I tell somebody that I work in a county where kids have to take boats to get to school, people just don't believe me.
But for kids like 16-year-old Ashley Tyler, whose dad rode the school boat and his dad before him, this is just a way of life. In fact, Ashley says it's the only thing that separates the Smith Island students from the rest of Somerset County.
I mean, I don't think it's really different.
You don't think so?
No, just ride the boat. That's the only thing different.
The 45-minute boat ride starts at 6 a.m., meaning students wake up around 5. How is that?
Challenging. It's not very fun.
Of course, if you take away a teenager's sleep, they'll find it elsewhere.
I usually just sleep during it. We all have our own seats and we have our pillows and blankets on there, so we just go to sleep. Some people does their work on there.
Makeup is usually done on the boat minutes before arriving on the mainland, with mirrors wedged between the seat. Amidst bumpy waters, eyeliner is put on with precision. Ashley's friends often amazed by how she makes the trip work. They don't have to wake up as early as you do, right?
No. Sucks.
Do you ever talk about that with your friends? I mean, about how you have to wake up early and...
Yeah, they always ask me about it all the time. But I wish I could wake up that late.
The thing that gets tricky about taking a boat to and from school every day is what happens when you need to stay after the final school bell rings. Rebecca Kitching, now graduated, explains what students like her have to consider on a daily basis.
If you do extracurricular activities like chorus or sports, you have to think about where you're going to stay. If you don't have your license yet, you have to think about what family you're going to stay with, how you're going to make time for it, if you have events that you want your family to come over for, like stuff like that.
The last boat back to Smith Island leaves around 5 p.m. and costs about $20. So staying past 5 usually means spending the night.
I've mostly avoided sports because I pretty much have to stay here like all year for sports.
Although sophomore Angeline Marsh doesn't do sports, she does do National Honor Society and chorus. Both require her to stay after school from time to time. Conveniently enough, the day we came to film was the same day as Angeline's spring chorus concert. Just another day that her parents have to make a plan.
My parents come off with me on the school boat in the morning, and they go to the hotel room and like make the reservation, and then after school they pick me up and then we head to the hotel and get ready.
Of course, not all students let the boat ride stop them from playing sports. Angeline's brother Miles, in fact, played basketball for Crisfield High, spending nights away from home with another family, the Bosmans. Gregory Bosman is the athletic director at Crisfield High. His son and Miles played on the team together.
He was just my son, you know, so he stayed with us. He had full reign of the house, and it was pretty neat because him and my son were real close friends also.
He tells us that's pretty much routine for all Smith Island athletes, and that finding a family to take them in isn't hard to do at all.
Those young ladies and men on Smith Island, they'll have a place to stay over here if need be for sports or dances or whatever.
However, for Smith Island students, making it over to Crisfield isn't always guaranteed. Sometimes Mother Nature says no. A frozen sound means the boat can't run. Captain Tyler of the Chelsea Lane makes a call on whether the Tangier Sound is safe to cross. It's a call students like Ashley Tyler have learned to look for.
Usually no, because who else is going to call at 5 in the morning? So it's usually him, and he just pushes it back a little bit.
Is that something you kind of hope for in the wintertime? You wake up and it's like, please phone ring.
Yeah, because it's excused too.
The time missed from school is excused. However, the work must be made up.
But it sucks making up the work that you miss, because sometimes I remember like one year it was so bad that we missed like a whole week It was bad.
Between waking up early, planning after-school schedules, and the makeup work, it can be a lot for a student to handle. The plus side is, those like Rebecca say, it teaches them to problem solve.
You learn to deal with stuff. You learn to, like, if you can't get over and you have a project due, hey, you got to talk to your teacher. You got to be like, I need you to understand this. And it's just, it makes you know that you can talk to people more, and it makes you more self-reliant and not just like, oh, this is going to happen. It's like, I need to make sure this happens.
At the end of the day, though, you ask a Smith Island student if they're different, they'll say they're just like everyone else. Just instead of a bus, they ride a boat. So how do they do it? Well, that's an answer that lies on the island. In part 2, we'll take you over there to give you an understanding about what makes these students so special. For 47 ABC, I'm Julian Sadur.
And also during part 2 of the Smith Island Student Series, we'll show you Ewell School, the school on the main island that serves kids from pre-kindergarten all the way through 7th grade.
That's right. Julian tells us that Ewell School is definitely something you must see for yourself. So make sure to tune in tomorrow night to the 47 ABC News Hour.